I am so excited to record this video because recently I found my old vision board, and when I found it I couldn't believe that so many things on my vision board came true, and the things that didn't come true I actually didn't want anymore because your mind changes. And so I'm really excited to record this video because creating all of the things on my vision board wasn't an easy process, but there is a process behind the things that I've done. And looking back at all of the years of creating the very thing, I can exactly see the steps that I've taken and the things that have helped me. And also now, as I've become a coach and helped other women create the same, I can see the pattern of what works and what doesn't. That's why I'm excited to share what I did with you, and hopefully this is going to help you as well. So I have my notes here so I don't forget, but what have I manifested? So one of the many things that I really wanted to manifest, and there's still something aligned with that, is I'm a very big Shakira fan since I was 7 years old, and my biggest dream was to dance on stage with her but also meet her personally. And both of these things came true, and both of these things came true multiple times. So it wasn't just dancing with her once or meeting her once. I danced with her twice. I met her a couple of times. I had a conversation with her. So I was able to really make my childhood dream come true, something that was so impossible for me in my mind for a very long time. The other thing as well that I saw here is moving to Barcelona. I had this dream when I was younger as well, and it ended up happening. I no longer live there, but I had this dream of really moving to a place that I loved. The other dream was living in a apartment or house with a sea view, which right now I am here literally with a sea view. The other thing was manifesting my dream partner and someone who was really the partner that I was envisioning. Traveling, like I had this one place I really wanted to travel to, which was Santorini. Long story short, I was actually really disappointed in the place, but nevertheless, it was in my vision board, and it ended up happening also in the most magical and craziest way. Having a successful online business, I was able to build something that is making me more money than my previous job, but also is giving me the freedom to do all of the things that I desire. And then obviously getting a puppy. The puppy was a very big one because I definitely didn't want to get a breeder dog. I wanted to get a dog that wasn't, either way from a shelter or in any other way. And it also happened in a very magical way. So anyways, these are the things that I manifested. And there's so many other things, small things that happen over the years. But I created a list of all of the things that I've done, and I hope it's going to help you as well. The first thing that I've done was, and I still am, being delusional. I'm thinking of the TV series. In German it's called Pippi Langstrumpf, and I always forget what it's called in English, but there is this TV series where there is this crazy girl with like these two braids that are standing on the sides, and she has this song where she's singing that she's creating the world how she wants it to be. And it kind of reminds me of like how you create, how you manifest, because when you create the world how you want it to be, you become delusional. And she was very delusional. Obviously a lot of the things that were in the TV series weren't realistic. It's obviously TV, but at the same time there is some truth behind it, of like when you become delusional and you dream big and you create all of these big visions in your mind, you're more likely to make it happen than someone who doesn't allow themselves to even go there, right? Even like when I was speaking to people when I was younger and I was saying to them, I'm gonna dance on stage with Shakira one day. They were like, yeah, sure, like never gonna happen. But I was delusional. If I told them I was gonna move out of Germany and move to another country, people were like, yeah, sure. I was delusional, but it happened. If I told them I wanted to travel the world and see as many places as possible, I was delusional because I didn't have the money, but it happened. You gotta allow yourself to really go into the delusional side of even thinking like a child again, because children are inherently delusional and they're creative and they're dreaming big. And then obviously over time, as we grow up as adults, we lose that. We lose that side to us because we have responsibilities now, we have to make money, we have a life, like there is obviously a society that we have to live in. And so we lose those sides of us of allowing ourselves to create something big again. And so bringing that back was really necessary, and it still is. And I see that with myself, that it was a lot easier to dream bigger when I was, 10 years ago. It was easier for me to do that than now. That's why this is hard work. It's like allowing yourself to step into the delusional you without judging yourself yourself for it and without even letting other people talk you out of that. Which actually, this point here is my fourth point, but I want to already bring it up. I didn't share my dreams with a lot of people. I only had a specific amount of people I shared my desires with, and there were other people who had no idea about the life that I wanted to create and the life that I wanted to live. By the way, if you're wondering what this is not a tattoo. It's not a real tattoo. It's a butterfly, because we have Dream Life, the Dream Life Festival in my coaching community this week. It's a free program in case you want to join. So the butterfly is a sign of what we do. Anyways, I made very sure that I only spoke to people about my dreams that were as big of dreamers as I was, and they would actually understand me. But there were also a lot of people that I realized when I would be saying those things to them, they wouldn't truly understand, they wouldn't truly believe what I'm about to do or what I wanted to create. And so I had to make the conscious effort of surrounding myself with people who were on the same frequency as me, and make sure that I cut out any external noise of people who wouldn't agree with my dreams. When you surround yourself with people who are negative, who don't dream big, who only find problems, not solutions, you will start thinking the same way. You got to become so good at cutting negative energy out. If you want a great, amazing life and manifest your dreams, you got to become so good at cutting that out, because it's going to affect you and it's going to make you think the same way. And even spending an hour a week with those people will already have an effect on you. So you got to become so good at also selectively choosing the information that you want to take in and the conversations that you want to have. The third thing that I did is I showed up every day with the belief that it is already mine. I already believed it was mine, but I had no proof. Despite anything outside of me showing that it could happen, I always held the belief. It was such a feeling of certainty that there was no doubt in my mind that it wasn't going to happen. So let's take this Santorini example, for example, like traveling to Santorini. I really, really wanted that, but I didn't stress about if it was going to happen or when it was going to happen. I just really believed it so much that I was able to just hold the belief and keep it with me every day without overthinking how it was going to happen. Obviously, by me having the certainty, eventually things fell into place and it ended up happening, but I didn't force it. It came naturally. Which leads me to my next point. I disconnected from the timeline. I didn't need to know when it was going to happen. Of course, for example, in the case of meeting Shakira, there were many times before that I tried and it didn't work. I didn't let that be my failure. I didn't define myself by me not getting that thing that I wanted. I just believed it wasn't yet the time. And the more I kept holding the belief and the more I distanced myself from when it needed to happen, the more likely it was going to happen. And it happened. And so I oftentimes see people being so attached to a timeline. They need a certain thing by this time, and if it doesn't happen, they give up and they stop actually pursuing the very thing that they want. Life doesn't work that way, because when you are trying to get something by a certain time, you're living in scarcity and you are not in the frequency of abundance and trust. You are in the frequency of scarcity and you're noticing only what is not. I definitely, even when I created my vision board, I didn't put a time frame on that. I was okay with it taking another 10 years. And so it really helped me distance myself from that, but also realizing that I was still the driving factor of making it happen. It wasn't just it's gonna come, Shakira's gonna drop on my balcony one day and it's gonna be like, ta-da, I'm here. No, like I had to take the action to make things happen. But it wasn't from a place of, I need it to happen now. Otherwise, I'll just give up kind of thing. The next point, and this is, I think, one of the most important ones that I see it overlooked in the manifestation community, is healing yourself so you can unblock yourself from what is blocking you to achieve that thing that you want in the first place. The reason why you might have a hard time creating the very thing that you want is because there might be an internal subconscious blockage that is holding you back from creating the very thing that you want. Let's take money, for example. Let's say you want to make a specific amount of money, but you have a lot of subconscious beliefs that are negative towards money. Even though on the conscious level, you're telling yourself that money is great and I love money and blah, 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 but then you get a bill in your account and you panic. Those small things that happen around money are the actual things that you believe around money. So it's not just you telling yourself that you love money every day, but then something happens and you go back into your old version of yourself, this is the thing that needs healing. And so you got to heal those subconscious beliefs and patterns, because those are the very reason you might feel stuck in a loop and you're having a hard time actually creating the very thing that you want. I needed to do inner child healing, trauma work, subconscious reprogramming for me to be able to unblock whatever was going on an inner level so that I could actually create the very thing that I wanted. This is the work that I also do with my clients. This is the work I will be talking about in the Dream Life Festival I was speaking about. So if you want to sign up for free, make sure you do that in the comments down below. I see so many people trying to avoid that and like only do the positive stuff of manifestation, which is like all the tools and visualization and journaling and all of this, which I'm not saying this doesn't work. It does, but sometimes subconsciously there are other things that are actually the real thing you want to unblock first. The next thing I did is I visualized every day. So I allowed myself, from what I said in the beginning, to be delusional and dream big, but also I allowed myself to truly visualize. I wanted to experience myself in the experience before I even experience it in real life. So let's take the example of attracting my partner. I would visualize myself being in a partnership that made me felt fulfilled and loved and supported, and I saw everything I wanted in the relationship and I felt it in my body before the partner came to me. I did a lot of that in all of the other areas of my life that I manifested, even with like having a sea view. I would see myself wake up in the morning and the first thing that I would see would be the sea view and something that I really wanted, something that I really desired, and how I would feel and how it would make me feel waking up in a place like this. And so there are so many things that you can do to visualize, but even the more important part is to add your emotions to it. You want to become emotionally involved with the very thing that you're manifesting. Don't just manifest and don't just visualize to like see things and that's it. Emotionally involvement is the key to then imprinting your subconscious mind on the very thing that you want. Your subconscious mind is your emotional mind, how Bob Proctor says. So you want to use your emotions when you're visualizing. Otherwise, just by visualizing a situation without the emotion, it's not going to imprint your subconscious mind. And then the actions that you take are not going to be aligned, which leads me to the next and last point. You want to take aligned action. It's not enough to just do. You got to ask yourself every day, the things that I'm doing, are they gonna lead me closer to the goal that I have? So many people do a lot, but a lot of these actions that they take are not getting them anywhere. They're not conscious actions. Every action that you take, you want it to be intentional. What is the intention behind the action? And it doesn't even matter what that is. Let's say you want to manifest a new job and you right now don't like your old job, but if in your old job you were intentional about the actions that you take and the things that you're doing, and you put in the purpose of your bigger vision into the work, it's gonna be so much easier for you to attract that new job offer. But by you being miserable where you're at, it's not gonna be possible for you to attract a new job offer. So you got to be willing to, with where you're at right now, be super intentional and take aligned action every single day so that you attract the very thing that you want. So you can do an inventory with yourself. This is what I did. I would always ask myself, what are the things that I've done and what are the things that actually got me somewhere and what are the things that are unnecessary? What can I change in my life? Where can I be more intentional? And so this is the question you have to ask yourself about your own creations, the things that you're doing every day. Are they leading you closer to what you want or not? Let's take even scrolling on social media. Scrolling on social media is not intentional unless you have the intention, for example, to get some inspiration, to create something, to educate yourself. That is a different intention than just passing some time. That's not intention. And so when you want to become an entrepreneur, as an example, you have to become very intentional with your time. And so when you're scrolling a lot on social media without the intention of what is your reason why I'm doing that, you're losing a lot of the time that you could be using otherwise by you creating or you working on a project, as an example, right? So aligned action was really the last and most important piece. There are some other things that I've done and I talk a lot about it here on the channel, so you can definitely check that out. But I'd love to hear from you how all of these sounded, if any of them resonated, if any of them helped. That would be super great for me to hear because I love to hear your feedback. If you do like this type of content, please make sure to subscribe to my channel, comment down below. It would mean a lot to me and I hope to see you in the next video. Sending you so much love.